Hey everybody, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Caleb.
And we are here at NRB 2024, as we told you earlier in the week. We just got out of a very special event called Israel 365.
The War Room Experience, put on by Israel 365 and the Israel guys from Hayyavel.
Now let me tell you something. One of the problems that we have across the world is the idea of out of sight, out of mind. When something seems to leave the media, we think somehow maybe everything's okay, and we don't put the focus on it that we need to. The war in Israel, still going on. The captives that are held by Hamas are still being held captive, and Israel still needs your prayers. This experience that we just went through took us room to room. On October 7th, the events that happened, we began with footage where we saw the atrocities firsthand from body cams of Hamas, from the first responders that were there on the scene. We then moved to a topographical map that showed us Israel and showed us the attacks strategically that were set up to show how divisive this plan really was.
Yes.
Then we got to meet family members of the victims who were still abducted and held captive. And finally, we went in to see the social media and how it has twisted and lied and manipulated and spread lies across the world. And even though their lies have been exposed, they have not recanted anything that's been said.
Now, we have these dog tags that they gave us to wear to remind us to pray for the hostages. And we spoke to the family members. They want Christians to pray. They want believers to stand and back Israel. They are desperate and they are hurting. IDF commanders spoke to us and showed us the battle plot of how Hamas carried out the attack. And he was breaking up in the middle of explaining how his son's best friend died on that day fighting Hamas. Everybody has lost someone in Israel in this war. Thousands of people have given up their lives to try to protect the country, or were civilians that were massacred. And there isn't a single person that hasn't touched really deeply. But after that experience, and we want to invite you guys to continue to pray for the hostages, over 130 that still need to be released. We were invited to a special viewing by the IDF. This film was shown to the Congress and Senate and to the media, all the way back to try to validate the truth of what happened on that event. Because as you know, there are detractors all the time. World War II never happened, the Holocaust never happened. This was literally 2 weeks after the massacre that happened with Hamas, that people are saying, that's a lie, that never happened. So they made this film, unfortunately, with the body cam footage from the terrorists, from people's cars, from all these different cameras, showing the brutality of what really happened. I could barely watch it, guys. The horror that we were seeing is because we were there on that day. We remember exactly where we were, and we knew the lives that were being lost at that moment. We even preached about on camera. Josh was there and rockets were raining overhead, and he says, someone today is gonna die and not know Yeshua as their savior. And at that moment, we knew lives were being lost from dear Jewish people who didn't know that their Messiah was Yeshua, and it just broke my heart. I was weeping because I remember every second of that day.
What is even more insidious than what happened is what has happened since that event. The fact that people openly spread the lies and the hate against Israel, that they have turned this against God's chosen people and made a pro-Palestine support for this, forgetting the argument of Palestine versus Israel. In today's day and age, where this fake version of tolerance is promoted, where we are afraid to stand up for what we believe in and the truth because somebody might get offended by it, remember the evil is standing up, lying, the most wicked and vile things. They are standing unashamed for their platform. It is our responsibility to stand against these lies and to speak the truth. When they showed this video, people asked what change can be made. They said the responsibility of change lies in you, in your networks, in your connections, in your people. If you're watching this, it is your responsibility to speak the truth. When you're online and you see people posting that Israel did this and Israel did that, it is your responsibility to stand up and say, no, they were the victims in this situation. They are defending themselves against these terrorist attacks. Stand for the truth. Stand boldly, just like Yeshua stood for you and died on a cross so that you could spend an eternity with him instead of eternally separated in hell. It is your job to stand for the truth every day of our lives.
And guys, you know, this is a spiritual war. It doesn't matter how much education, how much information you give out, which is good, do your part. There's still a spiritual nemesis of our souls who hates the Jewish people. Satan is out there to wipe out the apple of God's eye. And so it's up to us to get on our knees in prayer. Do everything you can. Call your congressman, call your senator, spread the word. But you are also held accountable spiritually for praying and fighting those demonic forces that seek to destroy God's chosen people, Israel. Please do your part.